Did it go live? All right, I'm going to be doing the weekly healing messages for September 14th through the 21st. I am doing it live here on Facebook, and I'm going to record it to try to put it on YouTube. I didn't tell anybody, so I'm not really going to... I'm really bad about doing my live videos, and I don't tell anybody when I'm doing them. So I'm never waiting for anybody to come into the room. I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there and go with it as it goes. Sorry, a little thirsty. But like I said, I'm really bad about not telling anybody that I'm doing them, so here we go. And I do see somebody, but I have the phone or the camera a little too far away, so I'll go back and I'll read anything that is said after I turn the video off, and I love you all. Now, with that being said, before I go into this week, I want to kind of jump into throwing a little bit of information your way. Because this week, yes, it's important, and I really feel like you need to go with the flow, but be willing to adapt and change. Because you are definitely going to be shown some things. You're in between leaving that full moon that was in Neptune, and we're coming into a new moon in Virgo. Virgo isn't what it used to be anymore. And when I say that is because I remind everybody Regulus is now in Virgo. So where it was detail oriented, a little anal retentive, pick things apart, it's the lie detector. Now it's that sixth house. It's the people, places, and things of energies that you consume actually consume you and become you. But we're looking at this energy now has the heart. It has Regulus in it, which is like the heart of the lion. So if it doesn't serve the sole purpose of the Virgo, of that Virgo energy, then it's making a whole new change to the way we're viewing it as we come into this new moon. But let me remind you, Jupiter has now gone direct. Yes, Jupiter is direct, and it's the most powerful of the planets, most abundant, the highest information of knowledge and manifestation. However, it's kind of just sitting still. It has gone forward, but it hasn't picked up any speed yet. And with this energy, it's making us feel, blah. It's making us feel a little blah because it hasn't started to pick up its energy. It's kind of just, its focus is out of focus, is what I mean. Its energy is like, I'm seeing it all, and it's kind of been making me a little bit depressed because there's no real fast movement of Jupiter at this moment. It's absorbing energy is what it's forcing us to do. But Mars now has also gone retrograde. So you have Jupiter, which is kind of standing still at the moment. You have Mars, which is now retrograde, which makes a lot of a difference. You have the new moon, which is coming in on the 17th in Virgo, making the detail-oriented shit in your life, those goals that you're after, all of that is taking, really hitting the heart and soul as to if it matters. And if it doesn't matter, I mean, what part of it is valid? Now is where I'm going to throw out that other stuff. Don't forget, Mercury is entering Scorpio on the 27th, bringing communication to a whole new level of sensitivity. On the 29th, Saturn is going direct. So you also have Saturn, which is still. Because even though they're going, one's still retrograde and is about to go direct, and Jupiter has gone direct, they're still in very slow movement, which means you're kind of going, well, what do I do with these rules, these walls, these boundaries, and all of this information? And I'm receiving it, and it's pulling you down. It's really in your face and make you question what you're doing and coming into what the decisions are that are best for you. Like I said, Saturn is your rules, your walls, your boundaries, about to go direct. And it's still right across from, not across, but it's within like, degrees of Pluto, which is still retrograde, and Jupiter. Not to mention, it also has, I believe, Pallas there, which is strategic thinking. So, I mean, Capricorn is very much your outer community is like in a sitting still going, so what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Are you gonna do anything about it? Or are you just gonna sit back and feel sorry for yourself? Or are you gonna make, the crazy decisions and just go for it? Yes and no. Don't forget, Pluto is going to go direct on October 4th. So this is saying Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter are punching you in the stomach going, did you fucking learn anything while we were in retrograde about your outer community, about your outer foundation to set for it to be soulfully good for you? They're all coming into a very slow stop movement, and they're really just punching you in the gut, hitting below the belt, and speaking to you. Pluto is death, decay, and destruction for renewal, rebirth, regeneration. With Jupiter's abundance, and it's not really moving in the outer world, it feels kind of like it's not real. And that's because it's not. There's not real movement taking place. This is a moment of clarity. But it's coming off of a Neptune full moon. Here's the thing. Neptune isn't going to go direct until the 28th of November. And you have Mercury, which is going to go retrograde on the 13th of October, which means we're about to enter Mercury's shadow period. But what everybody is forgetting is that South Node, Rahu and Ketu, they're going to be still in Sagittarius and Gemini up until 2024. So this idea of your bigger idea on a spiritual level, all this idea of where you want to go with your goals and your dreams and how you're trying to see your way through it. You have until 2024. This is patterns unbreaking around you, and they're not about to stop breaking, especially in your outer society, your outer foundation, your outer world. It is crumbling, and it's going to continue to crumble until 2024. I believe it's January of 2024 when it moves into Sagittarius. Not Sagittarius. That South Node actually moves into Scorpio, and the North Node actually moves into Taurus, where we're truly getting, I've been saying for 2 years now, you're learning to understand that you don't know a damn clue about authenticity and how to truly get right with the soul and its authenticity. We are looking at understanding. Ego has placed an idea in your mind of what that higher self needs to be, what that higher ascension needs to be, how it can be created and how it cannot, especially for you light workers out here, because this is your smackdown, especially over everybody else's, because it's saying everything you thought you understood about how you're going to get to that next level soulfully. We're breaking the egotistical patterns that you still have clogged up in your head so that we can really, really start getting there come 2024. And I'm telling you this because Spirit keeps pointing out to me, no, Shell, you need to look far further into the future in order to get this right. So what I'm getting is you have Mars, which is now gone retrograde. And you know how like they say, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas? I'm getting a lot of that energy for this whole Mars retrograde. And this is going to be for the next 2.5 months. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But Spirit is giving it to me more on the line of Amsterdam, not Vegas. So we're looking at, I'm sorry, but this is where you're starting to hear all that information about the pedophiles and whatnot. I mean, this is Amsterdam is, like prostitution and drugs and have a good time. But what happens when you come back to natural reality and who you've made yourself out to be in these 3 months? Is that who you're going to want to be? Ego is playing with you. Neptune is still in retrograde. Neptune has the way to catapult you into the most beautiful, magical life that you've ever wanted and created if you are working on the right side of Neptune at this time. But if you are at all in that egotistical denial, 12th house energy, grave sorrow, shame, blame, insecurities, then it's going to recreate from an egotistical point of view and go against you, and then the next 3 months slap you down. And I'm telling you this because all week you have a T-square with Gemini, the South Node, and your communication of everything that's up close and personal to you. Not getting along with that Sun in Virgo, illuminating what I like to call in that 6th house, the people, places, and things of energies that you consume. And what you consume in those people's, places, and energies that you consume, they are consuming you more than you're consuming them. That is the energy that becomes you. So it's Virgo, it's anal retentive, it's picking everything apart. It's getting into your health and your diet. It's getting into your people, places, and things. And it's asking if the communication is healthy communication. Are you truly seeing yourself? Because character flaws are coming up in the next 3 months, starting now with Mars in retrograde. Like I said, Mars is giving you that. You got to understand, Mars is sitting on top of Lilith and Eris right now in retrograde, in retrograde, and it's coming back over them. That's Medusa, and that's Lilith, which is ego. The fire of the soul, but from the ego's point of view. And then trouble, toil, strife, and injustice. Mars, your inner warrior. Your warrior is in like an insane asylum going, what the fuck happened when I left? And now I got all this shit I got to clean out. And now you're getting into your character. And are you really who you think you are? Or do I have to help make you understand you haven't quite gotten there? On shaman work, there's a point where I had to go through like a class where you meet your higher self. And it's the best way I know how to explain it, because like my higher self will come talk to me, but he will also remind me, oh, you're not me yet. We still working on you to get you there. This is what I'm talking about. Those character flaws, that inner sexuality, that inner aggression, fire, sexuality, sacral chakra, how you feel about yourself. And it's in deflated energy because it's retrograde. So it's going to be asking you, are you really who you think you are? Or do you need to dig in and figure out and explore who you think you are? But are you exploring from insecurity and actually taking yourself down Alice in the rabbit hole a little bit further? See, this is why I said you've got that new moon in Virgo. The moon, the sun, Virgo, directly across in opposition from Neptune, which is in retrograde. If you are truly getting to the depths of yourself and coming face to face with your own ego and your own truths and where you've been in your own way, then this could be the best time to move you forward. However, if you're in denial in any way, shape, or form, then this is going to cock block you, because this energy of this new moon is getting along great with Pluto and Jupiter, which are kind of, like I said, standing still. This is all about going, who is your character? Are you becoming who you want to be? Are you courageous enough to notice the character flaws about you? Or are you going to pretend that it's a night in Vegas or Amsterdam for the next couple months and we're going to have to go back over this over and over and over again? You're coming, like I said, South Node is going to be in Sagittarius until 2024. This is unraveling the patterns that you don't seem to know how to get around. The ones that you've programmed your mind into thinking this is the only way to move forward. This is what Spirit gives me is, you know how the idea is think outside of the box? Well, it's time to lose the fucking box. We don't want to think outside of it. We don't want to be in it. We need to realize the box is so much more than the fucking box. Drop it. Go with the flow. Allow yourself to learn. Allow yourself to heal. Allow yourself to acknowledge, but to understand. There are definitely ego pieces here that are going to be pushing you in opposite directions, going against you to see if you've learned. You have on the 18th through the 28th another T-square that will be forming with Mars, Lilith, and Eris as we come into the weekend. It's not getting along with Libra energy, where Mercury still is. Not to mention how Maya and Makemaker there. That's the collective consciousness on the level of the growth of the lotus flower within your own self-communication of these relationships. Are you being who you want to be in these relationships? Or are you getting caught up in that whole empathic side and you're being who everybody else wants you to be in these relationships? Or are you going to, like I said, you're coming into new levels of authenticity that are beyond your level of understanding as we grow and unravel these patterns. And it's not getting along with that outer community of Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn. So the world around you is making changes that you're not going to be able to stop, but you can change what you allow in your life. People, places, and things of energies that consume you become you. It's time to realize that we are only learning how to realize how to be us. So drop the box, guys. Truly experience who you are and truly experience where your character flaws are, because that is the way to catapult you forward. I love you guys. Bye.